The morning began quietly, almost imperceptibly. I lingered in bed longer than usual, listening to the faint hum of the city outside. My birthday had slipped past without notice. No calls, no messages beyond a few automated greetings. There was a hollow sort of familiarity in that, a rhythm I had learned to accept over the years. It wasn't anger exactly, more a muted awareness, a slow tightening in the chest that I carried like a shadow. Scrolling through my feed, I paused at the post that set the day into sharper relief. My sister, beaming in front of the Coliseum, captions glowing with excitement, tagged with every family member who mattered, or, in my case, who mattered to them. My father's comment, "She's the only one who makes us proud," landed like a pebble in still water, rippling cold across my thoughts. My mother's heart emoji punctuated it, soft but pointed. I smiled. Not the kind of smile that masks grief, but the quiet, private kind that acknowledges reality without flinching. Memories surfaced unbidden. The recital I performed, the projects I completed, the quiet nights spent hoping for recognition, all overlooked, folded neatly into the background of my family's attention. The sting wasn't new, but the clarity of adulthood reframed it. I had spent decades seeking validation externally, only to learn that some places would never offer it. I opened my banking app. My thumb hovered over the screen longer than necessary. There was a strange satisfaction in the simplicity of the act. I wasn't going to argue, confront, or seek apologies. I was simply going to remove myself from the ledger of their judgment. Withdraw. The numbers on the screen shifted, a private, deliberate claim of independence. My self-worth was mine to manage, no approval required. A subtle consequence followed immediately. The bank sent a notification to the family-linked alert system. I can imagine the brief, puzzled glances at their phones, a recognition without confrontation. I didn't need them to understand the meaning of my choice. The fact itself, the withdrawal, was authority enough. I had shifted the dynamics, silently and completely, without spectacle. The afternoon passed in quiet reflection. I cooked a simple meal, poured a glass of wine, and sat by the window, watching the sunlight trace patterns on the floor. There was a sense of calm in the solitude, a slow but undeniable strengthening of self. The world outside my apartment continued in its habitual clamor, indifferent as ever. But inside, I felt a coherence I hadn't before. My boundaries were clear, my dignity intact. I remembered my sister's laughter from childhood, unburdened by comparison, and allowed a trace of amusement. No resentment lingered, not in the theatrical sense. There was only recognition. She would have her trip, her accolades, her social media moments. I would have this, my quiet assertion, deliberate and contained. The contrast was sharp, almost satisfying in its subtlety. By evening, I wrote a short note to myself, a ritual of acknowledgment. Not a journal entry, not a broadcast of my emotions, but a brief acknowledgment of survival, presence, and self-respect. I read it aloud, softly, as if confessing to a witness who mattered more than any social network or parental comment. The day closed without applause, no messages of admiration, no public acknowledgement, only a quiet, controlled satisfaction, the kind that comes from doing something entirely for oneself. There was no gloating, no sense of revenge, only the quiet solidity of autonomy, an authority unquestioned because it needed no audience. I went to bed early, the faint hum of the city fading. The withdrawal had changed nothing externally. The family might never know, might never care. Yet internally, something shifted irreversibly. I had reclaimed a fragment of myself, a subtle but undeniable power. Self-respect, once deferred to others, was now mine alone, and for the first time in a long while, it was enough.